Welcome, I'm Beth Adams. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And I'd like to show you these treat tubes. I'm showing you two different versions, one with a cat and one with the owl. I couldn't decide, so I thought I'd let you do the decision. This project uses Spooky Cat for the owl and also the cat punch. You can buy these as a bundle and save yourself 10%. First thing you want to do is fill your treat tubes. Now they come in a cardboard box, but I found that all 12 of them do fit in a wood mount case. And I have the case inserts for you on my website. And then you want to find some candy that might go with the colors of your project. Candy corn, of course, for Halloween. But this candy corn just barely fits. You have to put them in one at a time and angle them correctly. We're lucky enough to have a candy store near our house. They have these sixlets, which would be perfect size. M&Ms will work perfectly. I found some cookie dough bites that I thought I would try, and also some sugar babies work just nicely. These are food safe, but of course you don't want to handle them, so let's see if I can get these in using a spoon. Not a problem. So with these candies, you want to pick the smaller ones. There's some larger ones that might not fit as nicely. They have all kinds of different shapes. Okay. The base of the tag is a thick Whisper White cardstock, and I'm using the new 2 1/4 inch circle punch. And I'm just using a scrap of cardstock. I went ahead and punched a second one, and I'm going to work on both of these at the same time because they're basically the same. For both of these, I'm going to make a little moon. And so I'm using a sticky note. Now this sticky note is really helpful, I think, for crafting, because instead of having just a little strip of sticky, this has just a little strip of not sticky. I find these sticky notes better for crafting. I'm going to use the 1 3/4 inch punch to punch in the middle of my sticky note. And I'm going to use both pieces. And I actually punched out 2 or 3 layers at the same time. Not only do you have extra sticky notes, but it's also easier to go through the punch. We're going to put the sticky note where you want the moon. And for the cat, I want it kind of hanging off the side. And for the owl, I want it pretty much in the middle. In fact, I think I'm going to try and aim it this way. And I can see the circle through the sticky note, so I'm putting the smaller part at the top. If you hear any extra noises today, we've got a new guide dog puppy in training named Micah. He's the cutest little guy, but he's only 8 weeks old and he doesn't know how to stay quiet. So he may make some little noises down here. I've got my crushed curry and a sponge, and I'm going to sponge in the moon, and I'm just going to go really around the outside of the circle. Totally fine to be uneven and to have some texture to it. The moon has texture too. I'm going to do the same thing with for our owl. Then we're going to remove the sticky note. Beautiful moon. Then we're going to put the circle, the inside of the circle, right over what we just sponged. And we're going to sponge now with Night of Navy. And we're going to mostly go around the moon. And around the edges for the owl. Then when we take this sticker off, you have beautiful moons. Then I'm just going to punch a couple of holes with the 1/8 inch punch. These punches should be next to each other near the top. So they're about, as long as they're separate, it's okay. Next I'm going to use the branch from Seasonal Layers. And I really just want to get this part of the branch. So I'm going to put that on my Big Shot. This is a thin die, so I'm putting it in the thin die adapter. Run that through the Big Shot. Always nice to do it a couple of times, just to be sure. And I just love how delicate these branches come out of that die. And now this is when our two projects diverge a little bit. So I'm going to start working on just the owl for a bit. I'm using some chocolate chip ink and the owl stamp. This is a photopolymer stamp, so I'm bringing in my Stampin' Pierce mat. And I'm going to stamp my owl right under those holes. And this stamp looks kind of funny. This is actually the beak and the feet. And we're going to stamp those in pumpkin pie. These are on the same stamp, so it's spaced perfectly for you. And I'm standing up so I can maybe see a little bit better around the camera. Perfect. And then I'm going to put my branch under where the owl might be sitting. Let's say he's sitting right there. And so I'm just going to add some adhesive. And put that branch underneath his feet. And I'll set that aside to dry while I work on my cat. So I'm just going to punch out my cat. Love this cat. And of course the cat can go either direction. I think I'm going to have the cat go this direction. And I'm going to put this branch, some of the heavier parts of the branch for the cat to sit on. But that branch is going to need to be all the way at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and trim those branches, and it might be easier to do it from this side where I can see the white. And I should have waited till this dried a little bit better. I'll have to clean my scissors. By the way, I clean my scissors with Goo Gone, and I need to do that. For the cat, I'm using about 12 inches of this lovely 3/8 inch shimmer ribbon. So I'm just lacing this through the two holes. I usually leave my ribbon attached to the spool, but I thought I'd test to see if 12 inches is about right. And I'll go around the test tube. And this ribbon seems to have enough body so it holds itself together. I'm not needing my third hand. But of course you could use it if you want. Now this is a little snug, but enough. So if you want to give yourself a little extra, that's okay with me. And then I'm just going to put dimensionals on the back of my cat. And I think that's very cute. not too spooky. For the owl, I want to show more of that top of the owl's head. So I'm lacing the black baker's twine through and going around 2 times around my test tube. I do want to add just a little bit of sparkle, so I'm adding about 2 or 3 inches of that same ribbon and just sticking it into my bow. And that's all there is to it for my not so spooky treat tubes. If you would like to get the free detailed directions and a link for all the products I use, come on over to bevadams.com. I'd be so proud to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Talk to you soon. Bye.